Guten Tag, toy and collectible fans, Fly Guy for TekSushi.com. Continuing on with our mega purchase we made from DarkSideToys.com at Christmas time. I bought a ton of Marvel Legends from them. This one was Drax the Destroyer. They had a sale and they had a ton of figures. Don't ask me what the exact cost of this one, but they had tons of them. They still actually have some up there. They were about $10, so some great bargains to be had on Marvel Legends. There's a link underneath the video. Definitely check them out if you want to pick up some bargains for them. So this is Drax the Destroyer, as I said, from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he also comes with the left leg for Arnim Zola. I have to say I've misplaced this left leg. I'm not really collecting Arnim Zola himself, and I don't really have enough of the parts to collect it, so I'm afraid I don't have it to show you, but we'll still show you Drax, who's awesome, by the way. He's really, really good. Great looking image on the back of him there. If you've read the recent comic book series, as I have, I think it's up to about issue number 9 by now. It's getting pretty good. Iron Man appears in it, and it's a really good story, so stick with it if you haven't as yet. Other figures on the back there. Now, a lot of these were never actually made available. Some of these figures never actually saw the light of day, I believe. In fact, I'm wrong. All of these were available. So, yes, it was some of the other, the following wave, some of them never made it available. Big Time Spider-Man, we've already reviewed on our channel, the green version. We'll have a review of Phantom X up here shortly for you, and Arnim Zola. And the others, not really doing it for me, so not a great fan, hence I'm not buying them. There's Arnim Zola there. Again, I have to say, it's just not a character that I really care about in that, guys. Doesn't look very good to me. If you're into the comics, then you might have liked him, but it looks a bit silly, quite frankly. Kind of reminds me of SpongeBob SquarePants and the little flea character, whatever his name is. So yeah, it just for some reason looks a little odd when he talks to a giant TV. But anyway, moving on swiftly, that is the back of the box for Drax the Destroyer. Now, inside the box as well, there's a little flyer there. It gives you some of the parts and figures that you need to collect to, this is from the Phantom X one, but it gives you some of the parts that you need to collect if you want to put it together. And they have little other details on the back there. It tells you the history of Arnim Zola if you want to particularly read that. Let me just zoom up a little bit more. You can freeze, and off you go. So that's a little character profile of the Beast. Drax. Let's get a look at this guy. I love this figure. Again, the film is going to be something else to propel these characters, but this guy just looked really good. I like the paintwork on this. Now, in some of our recent reviews, we, for example, looked at Hulkette, and she was literally a solid colour red, and as such, very dull and not a great going on, but at least for Drax, you can see the weathering and the kind of detail done there to kind of stretch his kind of muscles there on the chest, and this looks to me in parts to be pretty much a whole new upper torso, that's for sure. It's a brand new facial sculpt as well. The arms look pretty used before, I'm sure we've seen them, but you know, there's detail on this one, there's weathering and all sorts of kind of aspects to him, so I quite like this figure. Quite impressed. So a nice red which pops off there on the shoulders and the arms. So they made a bit of an effort here, which I like on the paintwork. Do like these two holsters for sheaths, I should say, for knives. Both work perfectly well. There's also a little clip back there as if it could plug in a weapon or something there, but there's nothing in the box, so not sure what that's for. If you know, I'd love to know. There's a little kind of belt clip there at the back. There's also that other sheath there at the front, and that allows you to pop in the other knife, which is in his hand. So pretty straightforward and plain. It's just silver paint with a black kind of ribbed handle. There's another knife there that's molded onto the hand, or the forearm I should say, but it still looks pretty damn good overall. The belt's moved a little bit over. Let me tidy that up a little. There we go. And that can pop off if you want to. They look pretty good detail. It's plain on the legs and the boots. There's not a great deal going on there, but the upper torso looks good. They've added just the right amount, I think, of the grey, and the eyes look particularly cool too. So I like this guy, and he's an absolute bargain. I'm sure he was under $10 or something. It was just ridiculously cheap. These things cost like $35 here in Australia, if you can find them. So thank you, Darkside Toys. I'm very glad you're around. So, yes, Drax the Destroyer. Lots of articulation, as is standard for most of Marvel Legends. Ball joint with a hinge on that head. You can move him pretty well. Bulge out the hinge at the shoulders. He's got a swivel biceps on him. Double joints at the elbows. Swivel forearm there on that one. In fact, both of them, they're both, there's no wrist articulation on these guys at all, which is unusual. That's a good point. Never saw that. Obviously, got the crunch there you can see, and he's got a swivel waist too. Bulge out with a pin at the tops of the thighs and the swivel thighs too. Double joints on those knees, on his kind of jeans, and not rocking, well, it is rocking ankles actually, it's just well buried underneath the trousers, and it makes it a little bit harder to move because of that trouser that drapes over the boot. But as such, it does look quite good, and you don't really get to see much of the vonkles or the rocking ankles going on. Pegholes at the bottom, and that makes Drax the Destroyer looking awesome. I've also got a Rocket Raccoon coming as well, so I'm already on my way to having the Guardians in Marvel Legends form. That's it. Love to know what you think. If there's any other appearances of Drax from the past which you think I should pick up on in the comics, love to know your thoughts. Or if you know any more about Drax I'm missing out on, then please do let me know. Can't know all of the comics, so I would appreciate any fans out there. Please tell us what you think. If you like the review, give it a thumbs up or share it. And if you want to see more, subscribe. You'll get it straight into your inbox before anyone else. That's it. Again, there's links underneath to buy this from Drax Toys and all the usual channels we have. You must know the drill by now if you've watched our videos. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and all that jazz. All the links are underneath. Join us, follow us, and we'll see you for another Marvel Legends figure review coming up real soon. Cheers.